All right, welcome to the Truth and Justice Network. I'm your host, Travis Washer. So, breaking news, Shawn Ryan just dropped a video that he's going to be doing an exclusive interview with Brian Harpole. Now, Brian Harpole, in case you don't know, is head of the contracted security firm for Turning Point USA. So kind of how the org chart would go is Turning Point USA has a gentleman, I believe his name's Dan, that works directly for Turning Point USA. Then Brian Harpole and his team are contracted security members. So Shawn Ryan's going to be doing an interview with him, so I'm sure we're going to be getting some details that we haven't heard before, some new information. Of course, there's a lot of questions about this case. I mean, everybody's kept it, the FBI, the Homeland Security, the police, the government. Everybody's held this so tight-chested, it's kind of like the Epstein files. You know, this big event happened, this horrific, tragic event happened, but no details are being released. So let's get into this video. We're going to watch that, and then we're going to wrap it up at the end. Once the actual interview drops, I will be doing another video so we can go in depth on this. So let's get to it.
You are on the stage with Charlie Kirk as the head of his contracted security detail on September 10th when he was assassinated. You know I'm not a combative interviewer. I do have some tough questions. It's been 2 months since this tragedy, and there are a lot of unanswered questions. People are starving for some answers. I know a lot of people are going to be very interested in what you have to say.
There's so much out there, and there's so much out there that's not true.
You cannot say every one of the pros, and I don't say it, acts that way. But I got text about you, Megan.
You know, I've been really quiet about this. It's a real shame, but it just got to be so much that I just did not trust my own eyes, ears, what I was reading, what I was watching. I think a lot of people have sensationalized this.
Well, somebody has fabricated a monstrous big lie that Israel had something to do with Charlie Kirk's horrific murder.
Just grainy surveillance footage, fake text messages, and a transgender furry.
In less than 36 hours, 33 to be precise, thanks to the full weight of the federal government and leading out with the partners here in the state of Utah and Governor Cox, the suspect was apprehended in a historic time period. The only thing we deal with at the FBI and the Department of Justice is facts. We delivered at record speed a manhunt to capture Charlie Kirk's alleged assassin in 33 hours.
Did he write a written note before the assassination attempt? That's what the governor said yesterday.
Guys will come up to me and say, where did you get your guys? Where did you get these people? And the only response I've ever been able to make sense is I just tell them, and I prayed them in.
What does it take to become a security contractor for integrity?
Once you've made it through those steps and you're on the team, and then you still have to put that kind of effort out, the team gets together, and then they authorize them to get the tattoo. And they get to get a tattoo, and brothers in Christ for eternity.
Now, isn't that crazy? That's almost like a sorority or something. I know at least one point in time when you became a member of a sorority, you get branded or get a tattoo. It's almost like an elite kind of group, but...
People need to understand that they do not have jurisdiction on the rooftops or the surrounding area. Their only jurisdiction on a campus is Charlie's physical proximity. And we're coordinating with local PD and campus PD to make sure all of those venues, but also ultimately we don't have.
So that's interesting. His security only has control of him, of Charlie Kirk, not the surrounding area. But it makes you wonder. I'm sure they did a venue walkthrough. I'm sure they took photos beforehand and sat down and looked at possible points that could be security risk, crowd control strategies, communication redundancies, contingency scenarios. This whole thing is just so odd, and because the information is being held so tight, not being released, it just makes it that much more suspicious.
Counter snipers. We don't have the Secret Service.
Right. I ask our guys, are you believers? We have no ties to Israel or Mossad or any other one. We're Americans.
Do you have anybody on your team that you think could be tied to planning assassinations?
We're in each other's business. Where they have the time for it, I wouldn't know.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to this episode of The Charlie Kirk Show.
People that are in the media, come out and say Charlie had very specific concerns about Israel. Is the man that owns the company that's in charge of his security detail, and you are the head guy on his security detail, did he express any of those concerns to you?
Dan works for Turning Point as their security guy, and so Dan feeds down that to us, to our contracted security, which is us for integrity. And so nothing had ever come from Dan, from Charlie down to us about that. You got to look at the world we live in. Mm-hmm. And that's a reality. An organization, whether it be a hate group of any type, could want to hurt anybody.
He's no longer with us and all that. So wait a second, what do you mean? What does with us mean exactly, right? I'm an American.
I'm not saying that we shouldn't look at things, by all means. Yeah, we should. I mean, we look at people and press and history of the United States, how valuable they've been. Don't say you're searching for the truth when you're lying to get it.
They just shot Charlie. They just shot Charlie. They just shot Charlie. He's dead.
You know what I want to know?
That's just crazy. Can you imagine the mass chaos right after that gunshot went off and everybody realized what actually happened? This is going to be a great interview once it drops.
I want to know when he got on the roof. We're shooters.
And that's a good question, too. It seems to me that someone would have had to plan this out pretty thoroughly. It doesn't seem like, to me, some young kid using his grandfather's World War II gun or whatever year it was would be able to get up to this vantage point without precise planning and practice. And I would even go as far as to say some extreme knowledge of being a sniper or these kind of activities. It just doesn't make sense to me. And then how do they not look at the different vantage points, especially after the Trump situation where there was a shooter on top of the roof? You would think that any kind of event like this would be looking at every roof, every ledge, everything, everywhere.
In that shooting position, 3 meters to the right and 10 meters to the left, there was no shot. And so I want to know when that guy got on the roof. We took that shot before.
Really?
We always do. We sit down in the space and we take the shot and send it back to Charlie so that he can see what he's going to see. And that's a routine thing that we do. We've all seen the pictures of the guy when he came on through the staircase. Mm-hmm. From where we're sitting, where we're standing, we can't see it.
It's a very specific point.
Spot. Boom, run two, boom.
That spot is just, again, I don't see someone with, at least from what I know about the shooter, that would have this kind of knowledge, military expertise. It doesn't make any sense.
Boom, take the shot. Did you get all that off?
It had to have been rehearsed to find that.
All right, everybody. Well, as soon as Shawn Ryan drops the actual interview, I will be doing a live on this, so we can go step by step and listen to all the details and get a better understanding of what actually happened on that day.